Good afternoon, KHM agents and those across the country. Hello and welcome to KHM Today, your weekly go-to resource for industry news and straight up fun. We are excited to have you all with us today, and we have a great show. Welcome to the month of March. You can see I'm starting to put some spring decorations up on my bookshelf. I have my green scarf going, and we are going to show, oh, you missed it, show you the money. Look at all that money. That's what March is all about. We have so many fantastic industry experts lined up. I can't even begin to name all of them. We have some fantastic tips to help you make more money. And don't forget about KHM at home. So many team members have stepped up to the plate and they're excited to cook for you and to mix cocktails. No one quite yet has said, let me make a craft, but that's okay. This week is no different as we celebrate National Moscow Mule Day. We're going to learn about why it's in a copper cup and what ingredients are in it. So sit tight. The drink began in 1941 by the Smirnoff Vodka Company, and they wanted to celebrate the popularity of the drink. So from 1941, we didn't celebrate it until 2017. That's when they said, let's celebrate this cocktail. And so 3 gentlemen, 3 ingredients, which equals the Moscow Mule. Believe it or not, that's the truth. So just fascinating, folks. We are all about education here at KHM today, and we're going to educate you some more with Chantel's headlines. Welcome, Chantel.
Good afternoon, Carolyn. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. We have some good headlines here this week. So the first headline, the Travel Institute has announced 3 new directors to their board of directors. And guess what? One of them is very near and dear to our heart. Anita Pagliasso, who joined the KHM Travel Group team in 2020, is the founder and former president of Ticket to Travel. After switching careers to her own home-based travel agency in 1982, she saw business quickly evolved with travel advisors looking forward for her mentoring and guidance. So she is also a member of the Travel Institute's Professional Educators Program and active in several other travel organizations. Anita, we love you and congratulations. Next headline. Something very exciting. We all love Hotel Ishkare, correct? Well, guess what? They're opening a new adult-only resort coming July 1st of 2021 this year, Hotel Ishkare Art. It is designed for adults, and it will have 900 suites, 7 restaurants, a spa, 5 distinct immersive cultural experiences, multiple pools, expansive events, and convention facilities. So basically, it's paying homage to Mexican art in its various iterations, and will highlight the most important symbol of the country's culture through 5 distinct casas. And as we all know with Hotel Ishkare, they will also include the fun concept of the all-inclusive with the unlimited access to all the parks. So I cannot wait to go down here and see this new resort.
Awesome.
Next up, this is something very new and very interesting for people who are interested in their family history. Kensington Tours and Ancestry Pro Genealogists are partnering to offer a new travel experience called Personal Heritage Journeys, designed to provide people with the most personal, in-depth, and privately guided exploration of their family roots. This sounds so cool. Each travel experience is built through the close collaboration of Kensington Tours, their destination experts, and a dedicated professional genealogist and family history experts. And the genealogy experts can actually go on the trip with you to give you a more in-depth knowledge and richer experience. I thought that was so cool. Something new. starting tomorrow, very, very important, Jamaica. All travelers to Jamaica 12 years and over, regardless of nationality, will be required to prevent a negative COVID-19 PCR or antigen test result to check in for their flight to Jamaica. For travel on or before March 10th, travelers may present a test result for which the sample collection date is within 10 days. But for travel after March 10th, the date of the sample must be within 3 days of the travel date. There is also a test date calculator on the website, so go to visitjamaica.com. All of this information is there. So very important, starts tomorrow. And last but not least, I had to end on a fun note. So we all know there's not enough to do in Orlando. So we're going to add another park. So those who are familiar with Peppa Pig, now my kids are too old for Peppa Pig. The owners of Legoland Florida will build a theme attraction dedicated to the British cartoon character Peppa Pig. It is scheduled to open next year, 2022, adjacent to Legoland in Winter Haven, and will carry, of course, a separate admission. Although billed as the first Peppa Pig theme park, the new attraction is preceded by Peppa Pig World, which opened in 2011 near the British town of Winchester in southeast England. So I guess we could say when pigs fly, and I think we're going to see that next year. So thank you for joining me.
I love it. Chantel, have you had a chance to visit the Ishkare Hotel or Ishkare?
I have not, and I would love to, but I really want to wait and go to the new one so I can hit both at the same time.
It is very, very cool. It's really unlike anything else down there, and that there is definitely a specific clientele for it, but it's just gorgeous. And so that'll be a fun addition to be able to go visit down there. And of course, congratulations to Anita. That's fantastic. If you missed her last week, she was on KHM today. She is just a constant source of inspiration and motivation for us. So we're excited for her to
so
take
proud.
this role on. Yes. So thanks, Chantel.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Our first guest today is the winner of the KHM Travel Group 2021 Southwest Regional Impact Award. I have watched her social media for the last several months and have just been impressed with the variety of posts, the timeliness, and the creativity behind them. Please welcome Jamie Turner.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hi, Jamie.
How are you?
I am great. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So first of all, congratulations on your award. You do such a great job as a regional coordinator. And, you know, I've been so thrilled to get to know you over the last year. And we had such a great conversation a couple weeks ago about your social media, because when I look at your posts, I think, I can do that. I don't get overwhelmed. I don't start to get hives and scratch and think, oh, this looks like so much work. You make it look so easy and fun. So I'd love to start with, you don't seem to be afraid to ask for business, which I know some of us are right now. So starting with Facebook, how have you asked people to like your business page? Did it make you nervous when you started? And so what's your tactic there?
It really never did make me nervous because I did start doing that prior to COVID. And I think there's a lot of KHM agents that during COVID, that's when they've been afraid to do that. But again, I started doing that back before then. The main way that I ask people to like my page is, I share a little verbiage describing how they can go to, the community tab on my business page and scroll down, click invite friends, and how that can support my business. And I think really during COVID and during this pandemic, it's been crucial because part of the way I have presented that is you may not be traveling right now, but you can still help me grow my business, support my business by bringing more followers or people that like my page, and it doesn't cost you anything. So that's really been the main way that I've done that. I have done it, I would say, at targeted times. So I think an easy one for people to do is Small Business Saturday, you know, when they have that in, you know, around Thanksgiving. That's a great time to put that message out there. I think another great time is the first of the year. So I know these are both right behind us, so don't say, oh, I'm going to wait till next year. Go ahead and do it. But the new year is always a great time to share that message again. And then I usually do it again sometime in the summer. And I may word it a little bit different here and there, but never be afraid to invite people to like your page and follow your page.
Great. I know for years, my neighbor, who I carpooled with every single day, did not know what I did. She had no idea that I was a travel advisor. And I don't know why I was so afraid to say anything, because now they're clients. But the other neighbor across the street is the client of someone else. Like, it's just crazy. But it's my own fault, because for some reason I was nervous about telling people what I did. But when I taught high school, I never clammed up. Someone says, oh, what did you do? Or what do you do? And you share. So, but for some reason I always held back, and I don't know why that was, but this is a very easy and manageable way to say, hey guys, this is what I do.
It is, and I would really, you know, encourage everyone to do it in two different ways, if this makes sense. If you have that Facebook business page, put the message on your business page, because you already have people that may not be in your private Facebook friend group. Invite them, but then take that, once you've posted it on your page, share that message to your personal page. Again, for exactly what you just said, so many times our friends, our family, I don't know that they don't know that we do it, but they may forget that we do it. So it's just a great reminder. So you're getting double coverage that way on your business page and on your personal page.
Awesome. So what sort of things do you post? Are you one that just posts pictures to inspire, or are you like, here's a great deal?
I do a little bit of everything, as you know. So, you know, I do photos. I do daily hashtags. I try my best to do those every day. So sometimes it is that Throwback Thursday with a photo of a trip that I have taken. Definitely, if I'm in a destination, I'm sharing photos while I'm there, but I'm also sharing videos or doing a Facebook Live. Other things that, while I'm just here in my office, that I'm sharing, you know, during COVID, there's been so much news, the changing protocols. You know, Chantel just talked about things changing with Jamaica. Any of that information, I try to share that, so it's very readily accessible to my, you know, my clientele. They can click on there and see those protocols. I share a little bit of humor. I share offers. That's something that I know some agents are a little intimidated to do, but great practice booking. Go to whatever favorite, you know, vendor it is that you are booking with, whatever supplier. Put a package together and advertise it to your market. You know, I do that all the time. I say people know they want to go, but they don't know where they want to go. So I'm telling them, and I'm putting a price with it, because people have dreams, but sometimes they say, oh, we can't afford that. Well, when you show it to them and there's a price tag there, it becomes real. So I definitely do that. And then I really love sharing, I'd say, interactive things. So questions out there, things that will get my followers to engage. One of my hashtags is Where in the World Wednesday. I haven't done it yet today. I need to, but just getting them to try to guess what that photo is. So anything that I can do that will make them click, engage, those are the things I try to share.
And do you find some good traction? I always found videos. If I post a video from Disney World, it doesn't matter if it's 10 years old, that thing gets shared and shared and shared.
Absolutely. You know, everything I've watched and every class I've taken and everything, it always talked about, you know, going from a picture to a live video and the progression of engagement and how that changes. So, you know, posting a picture, a lot of your followers are going to just scroll right past that. If you post a recorded video, you're going to get a little more engagement. If you go live, it's even more. So, you know, I tell people do everything, but just know that what format of content you're sharing is going to affect, you know, the number of people that are actually stopping on that post, clicking on it, engaging, and then maybe following up with you.
So let's talk about Facebook Live, because you're kind of new to this. Of course, everyone's done it, but when we spoke, it was, oh, this makes me a little nervous. Talk to me about that and why you started doing it.
Well, as we visited, you know, I have never been a Facebook Liver, and I see so many agents that are, and I was always admiring their courage, you know, because I think we all think it's so scary. But I was just recently on a great, it wasn't a fam, but kind of fam with Sandals and Beaches. And I was in Turks and Caicos, and I thought, I'm going to do a great video of my room, and I'm going to post that on my page, you know. So I did this fabulous video, and I couldn't get it to load. And it was just, I think, where I was and internet. And I thought, all right, I am either going to post photographs or I am going to bite the bullet and I am going to do this Facebook Live. And so that was when I did it. I was a little nervous the first time, but after I did it that first time, I was like, this is not so bad. And so since then, and this has really only been about a month or so, I've done them more. I even just did a Facebook Live from my office here last week, talking to my clients. And so what I would tell everyone is don't be afraid by it. One tip I do have though is, you know, when you start, if it's the turning the camera on you and seeing yourself that kind of psychs you out, turn the camera on whatever it is you're wanting to show. You don't have to have that Facebook Live facing you. It can be facing that room that you're walking through, the beach you're looking at, whatever it is, you're talking, it's still a Facebook Live, but that, I think that's the part that intimidates a lot of people. So maybe start with that and then, you know, move it so that it's facing you and they're seeing you talk. That might help someone.
That's a great suggestion. Do you use any sort of app or any tool to help you organize this, or you would get up in the morning and be like, oh, I think I'm going to post this today? Because I do know that consistency is key when it comes to social media.
Well, it truly is. And I tell everyone it's really important for me. You know, I look at a lot of agents' business pages because, you know, we're all curious what everybody's doing. Inconsistency is the worst thing. You want something coming across your Facebook page, I say at least once a day. So if getting that once a day minimum post is via a service like Branch Up, you know, we've talked about Branch Up and there's some other ones, sign up for that. It's not going to hurt anything. They're going to do something. It's going to all come back directly to you. So if a client clicks on it, it's going to send them back to you with your contact information and so forth. But it's daily. So it's getting something on your Facebook page daily. Outside of that, though, if that's all you do, I find that your page becomes very sterile and impersonal. So if there's some way that you can, don't think that you have to start out with, you know, 7 posts, 7 days. Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. I can't do it. Pick a day, couple of days a week. Maybe it's 2 days a week and you're supplementing it with Branch Up or one of the other services. But put something on there that's real. I really find that if all you're sharing is supplier content, I joke and say the photos are too polished, they're too perfect, they've been edited. You know, share your vacation pictures, build a relationship with your followers so they feel very connected to you and they feel like, oh, that's a real picture of that pool, not what's posted, you know, online. So again, hashtags are a great way of doing that. Like I had mentioned to you, Carolyn, I have different ones I do every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Post some offers. Maybe, you know, Tuesday, it's Taking Me Away Tuesday. Post that offer with a price. Whatever you can do to mix things up, I think is better. And at least something is coming across your page every single day that your clients can see.
We have some questions for you that I want to make sure that we take, but I want to ask you, what has been your most successful post that you can remember?
Well, just as of recent, you know, I told you I was just in Turks and Caicos, so this is the one that's popping up in my head. I was there for an event. I was doing lots of those Facebook Lives again because I had to and post. And some of my really good clients were watching me in destination. And right before I had gone, their Norwegian cruise had canceled that was scheduled for this April. And they'd already decided to move it to next year, but they wanted to do something now in between. And he goes, I was really fascinated by all those Facebook Lives and those posts you did. And this booking was for 6 adults, 3 couples. He said, I like that beaches resort you were at. So send me some quotes, you know, let me know what's available. And again, this is for April. So I sent over some quotes that would be 2 adults per room. And I thought, you know, I'm going to throw in this villa is available. I'm going to throw that out there. And so I sent a quote for that villa. They loved it. And within 24 hours, we'd booked it for the 6 of them. And that was a $32,000 sale. So
Amazing.
I would say that's a pretty successful, you know, social media post. And I will say this too, that same trip, I was doing a lot of different hashtags, you know, hashtag beaches, hashtag all these things. A lady found me. She was just on her computer. She's up north. It was cold. She said, I happened to look up a hashtag. I saw you. And literally over the weekend, I just booked her and her daughter to beaches. So that's another $6,000 sale. She found me off a hashtag from when I was there doing those social media posts. And I'm in Texas. So if somebody doesn't know, I'm in Texas. She's just outside of Indianapolis.
That's amazing. Well done. Well done.
So,
I have found when I'm traveling, and especially when I travel with my kids, people really like that. They see that it isn't as hard as it looks. One of the best ones that I have was when I took my kids to Thailand. And, you know, that can be an overwhelming trip for people. And the whole time, you know, I just showed that it was manageable and how we did it with a guide and everything. And I didn't get a family booking off of that, but I got adult bookings off of that. And essentially they followed my itinerary that I had created. So you never know what's going to come of it.
You really don't. And I will say this too, as far as doing what you just did. I just happened to be in Mexico a few weeks ago, the week after I was in Turks, and it was right after the new, you know, testing protocols for the US were implemented. So I documented everything, you know, what I was doing, sharing photos, sharing, you know, timelines, checklists, just letting my followers and my clients know, hey, you really can go. It's really not that hard. Don't be intimidated by this process. You know, I was sharing pictures of my testing and everything. So anything we can do as agents that can put people's minds to rest and kind of make them feel at ease about things, I think is really important right now with COVID especially.
That's fantastic. Chantel, can you join us and let us know what kind of questions we have for Jamie?
Hello. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes. Jamie, we love you. Thank you so much. We do have some questions for you. Paul says, as much as I share both on my personal and business page, I find I'm not getting much action on my business page. Is there something I may be missing?
My first question is this: is he doing 2 different posts? So is he making a post on his business and then making a separate post on his personal? Because what I generally do is everything I post goes to my business first, then I share that to my personal. So it takes them back to my business page. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I hope he's doing one post that he's sharing and just not sharing the information 2 separate times where there's no connection.
Okay, perfect. Susan would like to know, does Jamie put out specific dates or a time period on the packages she puts together and posts?
Absolutely, because as we all know, you know, pricing out a trip to Cancun or wherever we're going to go, everything is so date specific availability. So I do. What I never do, I will be honest, I never share the vendor that I'm pricing it out with. I don't want somebody going and, you know, so many of our suppliers can be booked independently. So I don't share that. I do dates. I never tell them the airline. I just say, you know, this place, this resort, this category of room, here's the price, here's what it's included, you know, travel protection transfers. And then I always put a little subline: prices and availability are subject to change. So, you know, you're giving them enough information, but you're not giving them all the information because you want them coming back to you. And if you have a photo, don't just put that information by itself in a post. Slap a photo up there of that property if you stay there, or go to one of our suppliers' sites. So many of them have photos that we can use and share. So share the picture of that room then with that price. So anything you can do that's more than just text is going to help that.
Absolutely, perfect. Let's see. Denise would like to know, are you only hashtagging on Facebook, or are your posts going to IG as well?
Well, I'm kind of, you know, slow to the social media game. So I am not on Instagram. I know that a lot of agents do post to Instagram and then it shares it to Facebook. So that is something that's out there. But even if you're on Facebook, you can still hashtag. And if someone's on Facebook searching, it's going to come up to those hashtags. And that's how, again, the woman found me in Indianapolis was off of that hashtag, and I just closed that sale. So definitely put it out there.
Okay. Lori would like to know, how many hashtags per post do you add?
Not a ton. You know, when I was in beaches, I was doing no hashtag, you know, beaches. I was hashtagging the event specifically that I was at. I was also doing like the at, you know, you can do like at beaches or whatever, and it brings up the resort. So I was doing those. I'm not one that wants to do 25 hashtags. I don't find that that's me and my style. But I would say maybe have one hashtag that brings it back to your business, maybe one hashtag that's destination, maybe one hashtag that is maybe that property specifically. It can get a little too much, I think, sometimes. But I think whatever works for you, there's no right or wrong. So do whatever you're comfortable with.
Great. Chantel, thank you so much. Everyone that's on the line, if we've got more questions for Jamie, don't worry. I will make sure she gets those and she can respond to you directly. Thank you so much, Chantel. And Jamie, thank you for being here. You are incredible. You have made marketing manageable in my eyes. You know, and for those of us that have been in this for a while and we are so used to repeat business and referral business, we do often wonder, will that business dry up? And so we do have to keep fresh. We can't become stale, and it's easy to do that. So in my eyes, when I watch your posts, you make it seem possible without spending an exorbitant amount of time, which I don't have these days. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. Hope you guys enjoyed that session, and we might have to bring Jamie back for another one because we just learned so much from each other. Our next guest is I've just met, and when we met via Bill Coyle, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so, the message is so similar to what we have at KHM, but also KHM today. So, you know, you guys know that the purpose behind the show is to provide motivation, and our next guest is going to bring that in spades. Please welcome internationally renowned speaker and founder of SwiftKick HQ, Tom Kriegelstein. Hello.
Hello, Carolyn. That's a lot of pressure. International.
Well, you know, I did a lot of research on you, and it kept coming up with nationally. And I was like, but he's speaking to all these companies around the world. Therefore, it's internationally renowned in my book.
And since March of 2020, it's international right here in my room. You know how real estate used to sell like an entertainment room? I bet in the future they're gonna have a Zoom room. Like it's all gonna be go to webinars or go to meetings. It's like this amazing space. But anyways, thanks. It's great to be here.
Well, you know, I was struggling with your introduction because I feel like, and I know I've called you a motivational speaker, but I almost feel like you're a people engager or a people connector, because that seems to be the message behind your company and everything that you do, whether it's within businesses or even college campuses.
I have found in my personal life, and I know there's many people that are here right now that can attest to the fact that when we create a human connection with someone else, there's more than just this transactional thing that happens. And I've often talked about this idea of the two hat theory, that in any situation we wear a technical hat and we wear a human hat. And the technical hat is the get the thing done that needs to be done, but the human hat is a reminder that often on the other side of that equation is a human being. And if we forget that that's a human being, we're going to make our technical side so much harder. And so that's why I remind people to constantly put their human hat on. In our world, we call it a culture of connection.
Mm-hmm. And boy, that message is so timely to what we've as travel advisors have experienced in the last year, because we had to be technical with tour operators that we were dealing with, and then we had to be compassionate and personable with our clients. But also get the technical message across, which was sometimes challenging. So I think we can all relate to the message.
Yeah, or be flexible with contracts. You know, we every contract in the beginning, we had a pretty solid clause. It was like, there's no cancellation. But I was like, okay, Tom, but you know what? There's never been a global pandemic before. So, like, and that's the difference between, and this is for all the agents that are listening right now, it's the difference between the short term and the long term. Is if we play the short term game, we're going to wear the technical hat, we're going to get that money as fast as possible and be done. But if we play the long game, knowing that this person, not only is this person going to book with us several times, but maybe their kids do. Maybe they become our best. You know, you just spent a whole segment on social media marketing, but you know what would also be amazing is if all of our clients referred a person to us or told their friends or colleagues that I want to work with this agent because when I was stuck in Cancun and I had to get home for my birthday, they stayed up till 2 a.m. with me and figured out how to get it done. That's the human hat.
Absolutely.
You can't train it.
Right. Can you share, I think you have a pretty incredible story about how you kind of got into this entrepreneurial lifestyle that I think agents can relate to because it was about being a go-getter in college. Can you share that story with everyone? Because I just found it really inspirational and I thought, yes, that's why we love what we do.
Definitely. And I just need to say, I said you can't train on it. I meant there's no manual to wear the human hat. I didn't mean you can train on it, but you got to.
Yeah.
My story, actually, before I share that, I want to go way back because my first job was to put groceries into a bag at a local grocery store. And they paid me $5.25 an hour. The union took out, I think, about 50 cents of that. So I was making like $4.75 an hour. But I was young. I didn't care. I was so excited. And one day, an old lady asked me to help carry her groceries out to the car. So I packed them up. I walked out with her, opened up the trunk, put it into the car, closed it, and she turned to me and handed me a $5 bill. And she said, here's a tip. Thanks for helping. And it was like, that moment set off this light bulb in my mind to realize that there's two paths people can take. One is a career in which the paycheck is exactly the same no matter how much effort I put in. And then the other path is my paycheck increases or decreases based on my effort. And from that moment, that old lady who gave me that $5 tip, all I did was focus on paths where if I put effort in, it's not just 1 out, 1 in, but it's 1 in, maybe 2 out, 3 out, 4 out. In college, there was and it's a longer story. I'm going to keep it very short here. Is people were throwing away their old edition textbooks, and I noticed it. And so what I started in the bookstore wasn't buying them back because they're called old edition textbooks, like they have a new edition coming out. So I started going around to all the classrooms and asking people if I could buy their books from these old edition. And then I went online on Amazon, and this is in the early days of online selling, and listed them. And they started selling to international students, to overseas, to homeschooled students, all so many different types of people. And slowly it grew and grew to the point where I actually quit my regular job just to sell textbooks. And then I went to the bookstore and got them to convince them to contract with me to ship me all their old edition books because they didn't think they had any value. And I think about that often. I think about that often for that story for two things. One is I wonder what right now is the version of an old edition textbook. I often look around where, yes, it might not be valuable to this person, but it is valuable to this person. And then the second thing is I think about is that so often we can divide people into two segments. There are the spectators and there are the participants. The spectators watch the experience go by. Those are the people in college that were the car to class, back to car. And as soon as the bookstore said, we won't buy that book back, they said, okay, I understand. They're also the same people that wait to graduate to actually do anything. Whereas the participants make the experience happen. They're the ones who choose that. They know that success isn't a straight line from here to here. It's actually like poof, 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 poof. And then they get to the success they're looking for. Or they find out the journey is a success.
And so you guys that are on today, can you just not like visualize the parallels between what Tom is saying and how we roll as an industry? And I know we've had lots of discussions about being that agent that is there for their clients, that provides that specific information that's there 24/7 while they're traveling. That is that specific and personalized and caring model of our business that is the one that's going to push you forward through all of this.
Yeah, and Karen, let me add something to that. We are getting closer and closer to the fact that data is accessible to almost anyone. Meaning there's a lot of data that most people get to. I'm not saying all of it, because there's certainly some data behind firewall or paywalls and stuff. But that means then that the true competitive advantage is going to be the human connection. The true competitive advantage for the agents is how well they connect with each one of their clients. Like that they know when you call up, the first thing you know is you happen to see them on Facebook. You're like, I'm so sorry to hear about your dog. Like that, really tell me what was your dog's name, and talk about them, and then say, how can I support you? But we're like, right. that's what's gonna separate us from everyone else.
Absolutely. You wrote an interesting blog post that you have posted on your website called 2021 Predictions. And I love this title because I think we daily are asked, when's cruising going to start up again? When are we going to have to travel with masks always? Are we going to need a vaccine? And not one of us out in this industry has that crystal ball. But really the article's more about planning for the future. These are the things that I think are going to stick for now. And here's how we can plan for the future. So I'd like to touch on a few of those and kind of wrap them into our industry. So the first one is, you believe this year we need to innovate the virtual user. How can we do that as travel advisors? And what does that look like for our business?
Yeah, when I think about that, I think about, first, people are zoomed out right now. So there's actually, I think it's going to be a whiplash. Like as soon as the code, and it seems like we're nearing May, sounds like for the United States is like where we're at for mass vaccine. So the crystal ball is getting clearer because the data is clear, the future is clear, and as soon as the future gets clear, we're actually going to start spending more money. That's just like the nature of the game, business owners and individuals, and go traveling. So there's going to be this backlash, but eventually I'm sorry, not Zoom, but like virtual is here to stay. Go to meetings here to stay. That's not changing. And the difference is that I predict it will need to be a hybrid, meaning one option, here's something that I'm doing with clients is programs I'm working with is we're sending physical boxes in the mail so that there's an interaction between the physical and the digital. Another option is I have them, like I would ask you, I notice you're very color coded on your bookshelf back there. I would say, hey, Carolyn, in just a moment, I'm going to challenge you to find one book on that shelf that has really made an impact for you, but you only get 45 seconds. Ready and go. Music comes on, you find it. Oh, you're looking.
Oh, no. See, now that it's color coded, I don't know where anything is.
Also, you don't want to mess up the color coordination. All right, we won't do that.
Yeah. An agent actually did that for me because she thought it would help my background, which it totally does. I just can't find anything now because it was by author.
It's a beautiful background. But the point being is we want to constantly figure out how to break this barrier. If we were speaking in person, I would call this the stage barrier, the speaker who gets off the stage and goes into the audience. This is kind of the same thing. We're not, yes, we're here, we see the screens, but I want you to turn around you and grab some. I'm gonna tell you that I just had these delicious cookies and they should pay me money because I'm sponsoring. But breaking that physical by sending you that, and then sending you a physical thing. And one more thing is the human connection again, is that this one-to-many isn't as effective in groups as going to individual breakout rooms or conversations. And I, instead of become the sage on the stage, become the facilitator of the genius that's in the room.
Mm-hmm. And I love what you say about here to stay, because when I think about here to stay, it's not just about virtual, Zoom calls. Maybe more companies, we know more companies are going to go to the model of being able to stay at home at work. But in my mind, I see that in the travel industry as being, some of these protocols might stay. We know we're going to have a vaccine to cruise. That's been pretty much widely addressed. We might have to continue to wear masks on airplanes. You know, some of these QR code check-in that's a little more mutual. Some of those things are here to stay, and some of them are great. So that, I think, for us is that piece is we're going to have to keep educating ourselves on those things that are here to stay, and they're just not for the next year or 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. And it will be interesting to see. I'm so happy that I don't have to go to a doctor to ask one question. Like, I actually really love it, because I'm like, you're the knowledge. I don't have to be in your office for me to show you this thing right here, and you tell me, at least give me a sense of the direction to go.
Right.
I think a lot of that may show up in the travel space as well when it comes to resorts. Maybe the on-site resort has someone that will walk with you around the resort. So you'll see the vibe, like you'll see a real-time vibe of what it's like around the pool in the middle of the day. That might be interesting. Maybe they do tours throughout it and they go, here's our spread for the day, and they show the buffet. Okay, now I'm really anxious to go traveling. Like, all I'm doing is think of all the places I was in 2019, and I'm like, I really want to go travel.
Yes, my passport is now renewed and empty. And the final thing that I pulled out from that piece was prices will go up. So what can we do with our clients to be proactive with that message?
Yeah. This pandemic, so I'm going to go macro to micro. This pandemic, I have never seen, and I know some of you think I'm 12, but I promise I'm not. I have just good moisturizer going here. This pandemic has caused such a rift between people making more money and having a lot of disposable income and those who don't. And it's clear, like, it exists right now. So there's a lot of people who have money who would normally spend on traveling but aren't. And I actually I reached out and I said to an agent, I said, hey, are there any deals going on right now that I can put money down for the future? Because I know I'm gonna go travel. I want to go travel, and I know they need money. So can we work out a deal, a 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever the deal is, to be able to do that exchange? I know I'm not the only one who's thinking that way. So when I think about prices going up, I know demand for travel is going to go up, and it's going to be a boomerang. So as soon as it starts opening up, all those resorts are going to fill up, and then the price of the resort, like, well, sorry, supply demand. So I want to lock in prices now. But I would love to lock in, and even with the discount. And sure, the advantage is I get a lower price, but you get my money sooner. Do that, and of course, if you throw flexibility of cancellation in there, even better.
Right, and that's something that I think I'm excited to see is here to stay, at least with some of our domestic carriers, to see this no change fees and all that, very much that Southwest model. It's very refreshing. It really is refreshing. And you can start to see it starting to shift business to different carriers now domestically. I know you have another appointment to get to, but I have one last question for you. We're seeing a lot of, you've either got those clients that are super confident, or you've got those that are really gun shy. What's a message that we can share with clients right now, and also a message for ourselves? Some of us haven't been booking a lot in the last year. We've been just kind of doing crisis management, at least for the first 6-8 months. Now it might not be as bad, but how do we get our groove back? How do we share with people that, okay, we're ready? Yeah.
Well, get your groove back. For one is, I say, look for small wins and be realistic about the situation. If the situation is $100 coming in right now, 150 is growth. Like that is growth. I remember back in March, I have 2 books on Amazon, and I was so excited when 2 of them sold, because there were no speaking programs coming in at all. And I wasn't comparing that time to prior times. And I think that's a key. Anytime and this situation is unique, and it's global, and it's impacting everyone, both from a business and a personal standpoint. I have an assistant in India, and he's dealing with the exact same frustrations I'm dealing with here in different worlds. So the first thing is look for little wins and keep track of those. Don't try and let 2019 be the barometer for how we're going to do in 2021. Instead, let 2021 be a space where January, February, March. Second thing is cut that burn rate as low as possible. Cut out as many of the expenses that you have that you don't need right now in your business to be able to have as long a runway as possible. And that's where I think a lot of people lost quite a bit this time, is that they didn't have any reserves in the bank. They were going paycheck by paycheck in their business to keep it running. So now we're realizing that we can slim down to as small of a burn rate as possible, so our runway is long, because the last thing I'll say is it will come back. People want to travel. The hotels are already showing an uptick in bookings for the end, Q3, Q4. Like, it's going to happen.
Right.
The question now is, can you sustain your business from now until then? And that's going to be a matter of burn rate as one. That's like the tactical side of it. The second thing is going to be the mental, and the mental ability to know that I'm in the worst part of it. Can I keep going? I call that the 11th push-up. You know, the first 10 is warming the body up. The real muscle gets built on that 11th one.
Thank you. That, you know, and that's exactly the purpose behind the show, and the reason we wanted to have you on here today is because sometimes we just need that push. We can do 11, maybe we can even do 12 push-ups, but that's exactly the purpose behind the show. So thank you, Tom, for being here. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Absolutely. Love being here. Love, tell Bill I said hey, and looking forward to sharing some Moscow Mules. And now I know the history behind it.
I know, right?
I thought you were doing gang signs. I was really worried. I was like, Carolyn, where is this show going? Do they know? Yes.
It's funny you say that, because as we were rehearsing and talking through the show yesterday, Desiree, who's going to make our Moscow Mule later, said the same thing. She said, wait, what? That looks like gang signs.
This will be the last show ever produced.
Yeah, right.
I was a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Exactly.
And saying hi to all the agents out there. Please stay in touch. Find me on all the socials with the long last name.
You bet. Thanks, Tom. Oh my goodness. You guys, this has just been incredible, and it's just going to get even better, because we are going to show you more money, because Beth is here. She is here to show us how to make more money in VAX VacationAccess, and we're going to switch up the technology a little bit so she is able to be on the screen and share her screen with all of you. There we go.
Hello.
Hi. It's so great to see you.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, yay. And it's working. Fantastic.
So you're seeing the right screen?
We are seeing your Let's Get Started screen. So we're not seeing your VAX screen.
Okay.
While you're doing that, Beth, a real gold coin right here, if you can tell me what movie and who said it in Show Me the Money. What movie is that from?
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise, and
I'll tell you, it's Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire, yeah.
Jerry Maguire, there we go. Okay, so we are trying our hardest to make as much money as we can these days. We're always trying to do that, right? So you've got some tips to help us do that inside of VAX. So we've got a reservation up here. How can we increase our commission?
Well, as you're going through your reservation here, you can see that over here on the very right side, you have the ability to click the booking administration. And this is just going to show you where you're at with the current booking that you have and the different selections that you have, where you are with what you're going to be earning for your commission. Now, the great thing, and one of the reasons agents love VAX so much, is because you have the ability to set your own commission. So this is what the suppliers are going to pay you. But you can increase that by a dollar amount or by a percentage amount, because maybe the suppliers have no idea how much work you've done with this particular client. How many changes have you gone through, and how much, wow, you know, there's a lot. So you can increase this. Now it's going to vary based on suppliers, but I will let you know that at least as far as the ALG Vacation brands, they have uncapped their amount so that you can go up to $10,000 or 90%. Now, I'd like to talk to the agent and learn some tips from them if they feel like they can do 10,000, but I wouldn't have the guts for that. But let's just say we wanted to do 200. All I do is go in, leave the $sign, it's going to default to that, and I set my commission. And then you will see that from 367, I've added $200. Now the supplier does have a processing fee, and it's going to vary again by supplier how much that is. But you will see that you've increased your amount. Now you can leave it so that it's just part of the bottom line, or if you do want to set it as an agency fee, you can click the box that says display as line item. And I've talked to so many different advisors out there that charge a fee, that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And many of them were doing it long before COVID and the pandemic that we've gone through. But I got to tell you, if your clients don't understand what you can do for them after that, then I think it's important that you share that. But again, if you don't want to show that, you can go ahead and leave that as defaulted as unchecked.
Awesome. And this is great. I mean, for those that are comfortable doing this, or you've done some research and you're realizing that your package price is $200 less than what they're showing online, you know, do 150, give your clients the $50 break. But it's also a great place for those that aren't comfortable doing this just yet. Put $5 in there. I spoke with an agent the other day, and we were talking about this concept, and it was, well, you know, if there's a difference in price, you say, well, I think I'm worth $5. Wouldn't you agree? How does someone come back and say no? Maybe they will.
Exactly.
But if you phrase it with, I think I'm worth the $15. No, I'm sorry, I can't match that for you. You know, and then they've still got the option, and you've got the option to say, well, okay, I'll go take that off. But
right.
So there's another way. Yeah, sorry, Beth.
And just to kind of tag on to what Tom just said, this is a great way. If you're making baby steps, if you add $5, that's $5 more than you had. And if you add $5 per reservation, maybe that helps to cover your internet bill. Maybe that helps to cover some other fee or some other service that you have to pay for. And it helps to add money to your pocket.
Fantastic tip. Now, there is another way that we can increase the amount of money coming into our pockets, but also provide an incredible value to our clients.
Exactly. And that is using your experience and your expertise to sell to the experience that the client is looking for. As you're looking at your hotel properties, I currently have, and I'm just kind of waiting for everything to reload, but I currently have the Dreams Natura booked for this particular reservation at the base level, because you know, that's kind of how VAX works. It does that for you. It finds the lowest price of all the different components. But as we look at this, and I just really kind of want to point out what these hotel profiles do for you. But let's open this up, because this plus sign just shows, or with the plus sign closed, it just shows us our entry level. Now, to see right off the bat, these agent value IDs will also show you different ways that you can increase your earnings. And so you're always going to want to be looking for that bonus dollar, or many of these that are going to be wonderful for your clients, wonderful for you. But if we open this up and we really start thinking, and Jamie touched on this too, what she does when she goes and travels, she's got the experience, and she knows what these different room categories are like and what these different things are like. And so with those kinds of knowledge that you can now, they can sell, the advisors can sell to what the experience is going to be. And let's think about it, because when those clients get to the property and they see, oh, they have some rooms that you can swim right out of. Well, what would that cost to upgrade to that? Well, let's take care of that right off the bat. Okay, let's go ahead and look for what kind of experience are they going to be wanting. And let's just grab a swim out king and select that. You can see it's less than $500 of an increase for your clients. But once we select that and we go back over to booking administration, look at it, jumped up almost $200 for you as the advisor. So all of these things will help to increase your earnings. Don't forget features either, because they're going to want those when they get to the property as well. So sell, sell, sell. One of the other things that I thought about while Jamie was talking was, what does it hurt to offer it? It's like a stick of gum. You offer somebody a stick of gum. Are you offended when they say, oh, no, thanks?
Right.
And what are you out? Except that maybe you'll get it. So just go for it. Go for it. Sell it up.
Beth, thank you so much for showing us the money today. And I know you're going to come back later in the month as well to give us some more tips. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so great to see you.
Thank you also for the time, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
All right, everyone. As you know, KHM at Home has become one of our favorite segments. This week is no different. And live from her kitchen is Desiree Stack to make her own recipe for the Moscow Mule.
Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Thanks for having me today.
Good. Look at the kitchen setup with the plants and everything.
Ohio. Welcome. So it's National Moscow Mule Day, and if anyone knows anything about me, if you've met me before, you'll know that Moscow mules are about one of the only things that I'll actually drink. So I'm so excited you got to have me here today. Thank you so much.
All right, so what do we have there?
So we have some ice cubes, a little bit of vodka, ginger beer of your choice. I got this from Target actually, and I like it a lot, so I'm excited about it. Some lime juice, or if you like sweets, you could also use sweetened lime juice. I've been kind of more on the sour side recently, so I've been using just regular lime juice. And I should have a lime here today, but we have a lemon because I kind of slacked there. So I'm going to also use a copper mug. I full-heartedly believe that a Moscow Mule is not the same without the copper mug. It does taste different, for those of you that want to know. So I'm going to throw some ice cubes in there, probably, 5. I already have the little cubes. And then I'm going to take my vodka. I heard Smirnoff was the original, right?
Right, but I don't know many that enjoy Smirnoff.
Yeah, no one does. They think it makes me break out in a hive. So I'm going to use Tito's. And you're going to use maybe a shot, maybe 4, depending on the day you're having. So, just go ahead and do it up. And then I'm going to use the whole little can. This is only 7.5 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Very nice. And then just a little spritz of lime juice. If you want to give it a stir, you can. I got a little spoon. And then just a little wedge for garnish, just to feel like I'm out having a great time in Mexico or somewhere else. Cheers.
Yay, cheers. And so, Desiree, do you know why it's called a Moscow Mule?
I actually don't.
Well, it's the 3 M's. What I should have asked you is,
the gang sign.
The great game. What I should have asked is, do you know where it originated?
I've always thought that it came from Russia, if we're being honest, because of Moscow. So it was either Russia or England, in my opinion. What do you think?
But it's actually, there's two answers. New York, the Chatham Hotel, or it's also, some people also say Los Angeles. But you're right. It's always, it should be served in a copper mug because it keeps it cold.
There's no other way.
interestingly enough, it's a very popular drink with women, and it is Women's History Month. So cheers.
Woo! Cheers to all the hardworking ladies that we know and love.
Yes. So
well, thanks, Carolyn, for having me here today.
Thank you. And as you guys can see, that was an eyeballed recipe. So go back and watch it again if you didn't catch it the first time. But it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that with a garnish of lemon and lime. Thanks, Desiree.
Thanks, Carolyn. See you later.
You guys, I hope you enjoyed today. We just had some amazing guests, and the connection between each one of them was just spectacular. I couldn't have planned it better myself. I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm not going to tell you who we have lined up, but you can see it on our social media posts, and make sure that you do something this week just for yourselves. Have a great week, everyone. Go enjoy a Moscow Mule.